don't know. Like, did I know Eli was a creep? I don't think I did. I thought that everything Eli did, which I'm like, I think that means that this is what I thought boys were like. And like, I hope I'm wrong.
Oh, so you still don't know?
I still don't know.
Isn't that a strange reflection? We still don't know.
Like, definitely not all boys, right?
Hashtag not all boys.
Yeah.
Hashtag not all men.
Grab some popcorn and stick around. We've got some garbage to talk about.
Hi, Karina.
Hey, Zax.
Hi, Rogue.
Hey, Zax. Hey, Karina. That was weird. You started with Karina this time.
I was like, whoa,
threw me
I get
off.
to go first.
Yeah,
so
I
special.
will, peek behind the kimono. This has gotten off to a bad start. This is a cursed recording because we're talking about a cursed thing. This is the Zax is over party.
Oh no, we're really getting out in front of it.
Womp womp.
Yeah, the cancellation nobody asked for, a dissection of a bad story I wrote, and I'm sorry, and I won't write trash like this again. I'm a better person now.
Nor have
I've
you
learned from my
written trash
mistakes.
like this since.
Yes, I
The
have
stuff
not.
you write now is very good.
Yeah, at least it's not hurtful. It's not a crime against others. Yeah, so let's just a quick trigger warning.
Oh, look at these friends.
They're very sweet. Just
This is not sweet.
no.
Oh no,
so
why are they saying these horrible things?
Oh.
They're warning you that this is a time to get out now because this story has transphobia, misogyny, homophobia, stepcist, and unlimited cringe. I do not take that last one as like a little goof. It's not cute. You will potentially vomit. You will potentially rip your hair out of your head. You will... I don't want to hype this up too much because maybe you guys just have a high tolerance, but this is pretty bad.
I mean, we did read Silver's Return.
I don't think nothing will top that.
I don't think it'll top it, but just because there's none of the transphobic sci-fi elements, I left that out.
This is just regular transphobia.
Yeah, this is slice of life teen transphobia.
Oh, okay.
Yay.
So that's I don't know if you can find one that's better.
Either way, transphobia is still pee bad.
Yeah, no, it's all bad. Gosh, imagine someone uses this as like, well, actually, transphobia is good because I saw this video.
Yeah.
All right, so let's just start at the beginning with the description. This story is If Adam Was a Girl. And it reads, this was just an idea, don't hate, obviously Adam is a boy. I just think that Drew and Adam would be an interesting couple like on Clueless, which was wired, but we accepted it, so accept this.
So the only way that they could be a couple is if one of them was a girl.
Yes, which is why reminder of the homophobia in this. That's a big
when you
part
wrote this,
of it.
how'd you come out?
No.
Had you even realized?
That yeah.
No.
Had your initial incident happened yet?
No, I don't know. Like, my sexuality is weird. It
wired.
was
Wired.
Yes, correct. Yeah, it was wired. Basically, long story short, I had crushes on everybody that was nice and cute to me, but only the boy crushes counted and were real. So that's about where I was at the time of this. Some questions that if I could go back to 2011 and me, it was a very different time. Why was Clueless the threshold for what's acceptable?
You watched Clueless and got the wrong idea of what the major takeaways were.
Yeah, it wasn't don't matchmake. It was date your stepbrother, obviously.
Please don't do that.
Quick thing though, Clueless spent a lot of work trying to make that work, right? Like, oh, well, they were only married for like 3 months, and he's just this college guy who just hangs around my house all the time. So
And I'm still in high school.
But anyway, so Clueless should mean nothing to anybody. Next question I would have for 2011 me, why so demanding? We accepted it, so accept this. Like, okay.
Gun to my head, accept this, accept my pairing.
But also, like, what happens in the story? You might wonder.
I feel like this is pretty on par for this site, though. This is just how the culture is there.
Yeah, this is just how you just make your little... The only thing I would say would have been better is if my user page had a bunch of those copy-paste things, like, if you're punk, put your favorite song and all that.
99% of teenage girls would cry if Justin Bieber something.
Yeah, or like...
That's just taking me back to the awful, like, Facebook groups I was in 9th grade.
And to further wet your palates, I think we should just look at the reviews first. There were not many. Okay, so we're just going to start from the bottom and work our way up. I'll give us a go with Sarah, who says, it's good, but it switched POVs too many times, and I got confused.
Oh no, were you not marking your POV switches?
I was marking them. We have a tally at the end of how many there were.
Okay.
Sarah is not, she's wrong that it was good, but she gave me an open-faced compliment sandwich. It's good, but it switched POVs too many times, and I got confused.
I'm really laughing
No
at you
other
fighting
bread.
for your life up on the top.
We will get there. Can I hear from Incest is Bad, please?
Yeah, let me just... What the fuck?
Okay, so not
Fancy.
happy with where this story goes.
Yeah.
Blueberry 24.
I love this story. Please continue it, especially cause what will happen when everybody else finds out. Plus, it should sex. You gotta to admit it goes there. It should
And then,
sex.
What would you do if when okay, so then go? I would say keep practicing your vocabulary.
well,
Then we have this iconic quote.
yeah, okay, so then, me stepping in to fight fire with fire, I sent a review that no one would get notified by. They are step siblings, so it is not incest. I know it kind of went there with Fiona and Declan, but that would just be too far. For context, on Degrassi, Fiona and Declan were biological twins, and one time in an episode, Fiona kissed Declan on the lips. And
Gross.
in the show, Declan immediately goes like, "Whoa, what's wrong with you?" And that's how we know that Fiona is like having like
problem.
Yeah, she's like having a nervous breakdown. That's why she does it. But Teen Nick clickbaited the crap out of this kiss and was straight up promoting it like, yeah, maybe they're gonna have incest this time. Like, and the problem was that, oh, but Declan's dating Holly J. Looks like he's got competition. No, if you find out they're hooking up with their relative.
Why was Degrassi so unhinged?
Okay,
For
so
what?
like, I am taking full accountability, but I just am also setting
Yeah,
the
that's
scene for
true.
like what is happening here.
Yeah, it's like, why? No wonder some people were like this when T. Nick did that kind of thing, I guess.
You know
Yeah.
what? I feel like I need to take my statement back because of like, oh my god, Degrassi was so unhinged. Meanwhile, I'm waiting every Sunday for the next episode of Euphoria to come out.
Oh, okay. I am about to caught up and like,
Unhinged.
yeah, like Degrassi could never, but at the same time,
Degrassi walked so Euphoria could run. Also, okay, before we start, if we're gonna talk about unhinged shows, Riverdale is up at the top.
Riverdale?
And that's all I will say.
Yeah,
That's all I will say.
Yeah, I will say at least, well, I'm starting to lose this take on Euphoria a little bit, but, like, at the very least, Degrassi and Euphoria, like, know the plot. Like, they know what they're trying to do.
They know what they're doing with their characters.
I don't know what
Kat,
Riverdale's
what are we doing?
agenda is. Okay, but
Riverdale
anyway.
doesn't know either.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay, but a little bit more on Degrassi, just so that you guys know what some context for the nonsense we're about to get into. Here's some background on what you need to know. There's Claire, she's dating Eli. Adam, titular character, is female to male, trans. Eli is manically obsessed with Claire. Allie is Claire's best friend. Drew is Adam's stepbrother, which I put that question mark there for full transparency. There was technically never an episode that straight out said they were step siblings, so they could be biologically related.
Why? Why could they also possibly be step siblings?
Okay, one, they don't look a thing alike. Like, Drew, I think they're both white, but, like, Drew Torres, like, he was cast and I thought he was supposed to be, like, Hispanic or something, and Adam is just white. Also, one time their mom said when they met, they got along so well. I'm realizing now you technically can meet your baby sibling when they're born.
That's usually what people say, I think.
Yeah, well, we're gonna get, this is a section later, but the author doesn't know how anything works.
The author?
I love how we're
Me?
distancing ourselves.
We're already just like, yeah, this author. She was crazy back then.
Yeah, this wilding out person. I will say, I did write this with a friend. However, that friend did the best they could, and I kept grabbing the wheel. So it's all on me.
People were trying to help you, and you said, no.
We'll get there. We'll actually get to see some help. But
boy.
That's that. Okay. And then if I didn't say, Bianca is Drew's current girlfriend. So, okay. Anyone have any more distractions that I can use before getting into this absolutely shameful story I wrote?
Yeah, where'd you get this slide?
It's very
template?
cute.
It's very cute.
Actually, oh gosh, I can't even remember. I went on just where you look for download more themes or whatever, but I could totally link you this one. I thought it was great.
I wish I was still in school, because I would use this for literally everything.
I mean, you could use it for this Big Sister series coming up.
Yeah, we're working on that. This would have been absolutely excellent, though, to be in class, and it's case study, and it's just this client has a horrible, horrible life, but then it's just a nice blue triangle.
Triangle.
cute.
Doing clinicals, and it's hi, I'm the blue triangle.
Okay, anything else?
I'm
Any more
sorry we got into this.
Okay, alright, well, crap, let's go.
Here we go.
Okay, so this story has 4 subplots. They're barely related. Okay, they're not gonna get resolved. We'll get there. 1, Claire's insecure about her relationship. 2, Jenna's planned affair.
Planned.
We'll get there. Eli is planning an anniversary party for his relationship with Claire. And Adam is detransitioning and hooking up with Drew, his stepbro.
Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot for Adam.
Well,
That's a lot. The other thing, though, I would like to say, though, is these 4 stories carry out throughout the whole thing, but I broke them up and just so we can just divide and conquer them, so it'll at least make sense. Because if we just followed this story as written, I think we would need philosophy professors, to be honest. But okay. Other thing notice that although the title would suggest that this story is about 4A, at least, it's listed last here, and it's also kind of like an afterthought. Put a pin in that.
Okay.
Let's go to... This is probably the most prominent story. Clare is insecure. Okay, so in our telling of this, Clare is wildly paranoid that Eli is cheating on her. Let's just go through this first excerpt.
Well, I don't know where Allie is, and Eli just ditched me. Sometimes I don't know where those two are, but they aren't with me. It's nerve-wracking.
Really?
Oh, it's first person. Okay. He says, his eyes widening in shock. Once again, I can't shake the feeling that he's faking it.
And then this is you again.
Yeah, like today, I was expecting to eat lunch with Eli, but after a while, he said that he had to go talk to Mr. Bettenkamp.
Oh, okay. Then don't worry. I know he would want to hang out with you. He was saying something about needing extra credit. Okay, so to be clear, this is super unfounded even in the show. Eli is obsessed with Clare. He's the goth boy who literally bleeds secondhand serenade, and he crashed his hearse into a wall just so that Clare would visit him in the hospital.
Oh my gosh.
He's not cheating on her anytime soon. Also, visiting a teacher during school hours is probably the least suspicious excuse you could think of. So, like, I don't know why Claire's tripping this much.
Yeah.
But she is.
You know, when you're young, sometimes you read into things too much.
Or when
I
you're
guess.
old.
Yeah.
So this will be, we'll get more context for what's going on here later, but Claire's gonna see Eli hugging Allie and loses her mind. This is from Allie's point of view, but that's just the narrator here. Rogue, if you could read Claire's bit there at the beginning.
No, forget it. You lied to me, Eli. And I doubt this is the first time since we got back together. All the times you've left without an explanation. You were ditching me to rendezvous with my best friend.
She says, aiming the end at both me and Eli.
The end? Is she
Oh no.
So, one thing I feel like I need to mention is that even though this part of the story is from Allie's point of view, and Allie is one of the few POCs on Degrassi at this time of the show, let alone this fic, because there were other POC characters I could have included, I just didn't. So this part of the story, like all the others, is just about the white people. There's probably some self-loathing in there, but I'm good to just, like, repress that for now and move along.
We're just going to overlook that for now.
We'll just acknowledged and repressed. Okay, so, I'm just gonna read this slide, because we're gonna wrap this plot up, and if you have any questions, you can just interrupt and ask. So, Claire goes to the dot angrily. Eli goes to stalk Claire, not to
Going downhill already.
He doesn't talk to her. She's like inside the cafe and he's on like one of the outside patio seats looking at her through a window, just staring. Adam follows Eli and tries to stop him from being a lunatic. Claire texts Casey to come over. They talk. Casey kisses Claire's cheek and leaves. That night, Claire has a nothing talk with Jenna, who is Casey's fiance. The conversation goes nowhere, but we'll get to that later. Claire catches Eli and Adam kissing and is furious. At least this time it's reasonable.
Yeah.
Claire forgives Eli within not one, but just 2 paragraphs.
Oh my gosh.
Not 3, and they kiss.
So she should have been insecure, but it was about the wrong person.
See, but technically
bro,
not
what are
at
you
the
doing?
time. Yeah, technically not at the time. They were. It makes no sense, but
Okay.
yeah, Allie was not the one to worry about at all. Okay, so this is number 2. This is Jenna's planned affair, and it's just too stupid not to just read the whole thing. Conceptually, it's just dumb. So remember that trigger warning about unlimited cringe?
Oh.
The more
boy.
the more dialogue we read, the more cringe it gets.
Is this also the author not knowing how anything works?
I'll let you guys judge for yourselves.
Okay. Oh no.
But just a little background to get some of the inner goings-ons of this scenario is that Casey is Claire's ex-boyfriend. He cheated on Claire with Jenna, but in true Degrassi fashion, they were all cool with it within like 2 episodes. Casey got Jenna pregnant, and they had a baby. So, you know, if this plot line was going to go anywhere, you would need to know that. As a viewer. Clara is not a character. We just misspelled Claire. Karina, would you be Clara this time? And her online handle is Goldilocks Biter. And
That's
Rogue,
a great
if you
name.
and Rogue, if you could be Blonde Love, that's Jenna.
I can't believe he kissed me. I mean, I know it was on the cheek, but I was really close to my lips. We haven't even been that close in more than a year. Whoa, I wonder what Eli thought. No, what do I care? He cheated, I got kissed awkwardly, there was a huge difference. I hear a beep and I look down at my IM. What a throwback.
Hey, Claire Bear. Casey told me what happened.
What happened with what? He kissed me. I doubt it. Oh, did he?
Yeah, about the breakup.
He would have mentioned the kiss to Jenna. No way he would tell his fiancé. It was bad, but we didn't actually break up.
Just to wrap it up.
Are you going to forgive him? I mean, cheating is taboo.
Cheating. And yet you helped KC cheat. And you tried to attempt Sav to cheat and you tried to tempt Sav to cheat while freaking pregnant. Yeah, I hear things. Back to the conversation, Claire. I don't think I We haven't talked about it. Anyways, what are you doing right now?
Oh, Casey has the baby tonight, so I went to a fellow single... Sorry. Anyone talking like this is hilarious.
I went to a fellow single parent's house.
So I went to a fellow single parent's house to stay the night.
But you aren't single.
You?
I've been thinking about today's events, but I'm going to go to bed now. Have fun at your sleepover.
Okay, we will. Have a good night's rest. Maybe it will look better in the morning.
Yeah, maybe. About the same chance of your lie being better.
Yes, the
Period.
completely normal way teenage girls talk to each other as written by a teenage girl.
You were about... Sorry, the author was like 11.
The author was an idiot. The author was a big stupid head. The author
Clown.
The author didn't deserve friends. But, okay.
You thought this
so
was a masterpiece.
I cannot know. If I had printed it out, I would have kissed the paper. I was that proud of all this. Okay, the plan was this was going to be a cool and subtle way to imply that Jenna was cheating on Casey with another single dad student. But it really just kind of comes out as like some weird hangout plan she has, and Claire's being suspicious for no reason. Because she didn't say single dad. She just said another single parent, which like could be a teen mom like her, could be a teen dad. It could also be like some 40-year-old single parent that's like grooming her, and Jenna needs help. But Claire doesn't care about that because Jenna's awful. And that's This is how her plan goes. It doesn't go anywhere. We're not going to hear from Jen again. We're not going to hear from KC again, let alone follow up on this single parent house sleepover.
What a good story.
This was really gonna be like the intrigue for this. I would like you guys to know this whole story is labeled complete. It is 4 chapters long. And okay. No, you guys might notice we still haven't talked about a certain character yet.
Yeah, I was hoping it stayed that way.
So, let's go to Eli planning an anniversary party.
So nice, wow.
This is not really fleshed out at all, but it's just an excuse for Claire to see Eli being suspicious.
This is the B plot.
Yeah, does it count as that? It's like, I don't think any of these plots are good enough to get a letter.
It's like that whole trope of like, oh, my partner's being secretive, so they're hiding something, but it's just a party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like, I feel like that's a pretty big trope in kids'
That's-
shows.
Yeah, that's like about as basic as you could get, I think, in general. So I'm glad that I was really pushing boundaries back in these days.
This was all you knew.
This was all I knew was Degrassi.
You were the TV tropes admin.
My friend did turn me on to TV tropes at this time. It was like a really good website. I think it still is.
Yeah, I think it's still running.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm just going to read this so you guys can get to know Allie and Eli a little bit. Well, you can get to know Eli a little bit. You don't know anything about Allie ever. Okay. So do you think Claire suspects anything, I ask? I doubt it. She already thinks I'm weird. Claire probably thinks I'm just being me, Eli says bitterly. And so, they're planning the party. In sitcom fashion, Claire catches them. Eli stalks her. And Adam is Eli's friend and wants to get him thinking about something else. But because he will not shut up about Claire, Adam announces that he's detransitioning.
Oh, dabbling in incest.
He does not mention the dabbling and incest part, but he is. I'm gonna just say, like, it's all been kind of cute now, but here is where the story gets rough. This aspect has been, like, mentioned all throughout, and I'm just gonna preface it with a few things before we get into it. Deciding to write a story about a trans person changing their mind, first of all, don't. First, a bit of advice I'd give myself.
Yeah, maybe this isn't your story to tell.
Yeah, maybe it's not. But I didn't feel that way. So, second bit of advice, maybe focus the story on that trans person.
If you're gonna do it. If you're gonna do it at all.
If you're gonna do it at all.
If you
which I do
decide
not
this is the
recommend.
path for you, maybe put all the attention into that.
Don't decide detransitioning is a way to satisfy our homophobia. Like, we just wanted Adam to date their brother, and instead of just making it an AU, we're like, I don't know, they weren't related. We just made it so that, and we also couldn't just, like, get another character. We had to make it where Adam did transition, is now going to detransition, and then get with their brother.
Like, you couldn't even, like, this is an AU where Adam isn't trans, which is not great, but I think it's a little bit better than this situation. And, like, let me be clear. This is not to say that detransitioning is bad or invalid, because, you know, it happens sometimes, and if this is an educational moment now, if that's what happens with you, then that's okay. Sometimes that's just, like, part of your life's plan. But if you're gonna write a story about somebody detransitioning, don't have them incest with their step-sibling.
Also, I'd like to point out that in this situation, it quote-unquote was a different time, but just in the fact that a lot of the anti-trans rhetoric, especially in 2011, was like,
Yeah.
oh, well, some of them changed their minds.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
So
not
then
a good look.
nobody should have access to gender affirming treatments
Yeah.
because what if you change your mind? What if you do? It's still good for other people to have access to these resources because they likely won't change their mind.
Yeah, I mean, you know, maybe people start on puberty blockers or they find themselves, but for the most part, like, transitioning saves lives, and that's you know, what I didn't know. I'll be honest, I don't think I even really fully understood what it even meant on the show that Adam was trans. Like, I'm not even kidding. I really don't think I understood what the deal was at all.
Yeah.
I just knew the actor playing Adam was the little sister in Life with Derek.
Yeah. Who, might I add, to my knowledge, she is not trans herself.
Not that I know of. I think she might. I think I saw her on Instagram once, and I think she is thriving.
Yeah, I just went on her
good.
Instagram because I was like, I wonder what she's up to, and she does look like she's thriving.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Okay. This story isn't thriving.
Yeah.
No.
This
but
story is
just-
down
And it's
arrival.
slowly killing us, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next part, I truly cannot emphasize the cringe factor. But these are just different snippets that show Adam's point of view, and I'm just going to read them because I think that this together really just sums up how insensitive and uninformed and all around out of touch we were with this topic. Okay. What? I ask much higher than I talked before. That feels more natural, but focus, that's not the most important thing.
Oh no.
Dang, that even affects girls, which I am.
Oh no.
You must really be out of it, sis. We don't have fifth today. I thought we could hang out, he says as we sit on the stairs. Just finish the name change, will you? She's a cool girl, but I'll live if she doesn't forgive me. By the way, bro, you're a little high there. You want to tell everyone your newly discovered secret? Stop referring to that already. Weird, I think, as the door closes. I really don't know how I feel. I just want someone to be with. I'm not trying to lead him on. Okay, well, that may be what I'm doing. But he does has a girlfriend. I am not about to be the other girl, then boy, then back to girl.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, you weren't ready. I told you no one would be ready.
I'm just trying to look at the shapes at the bottom and
I just want to think
disassociate.
about how he has a girlfriend sounds like a meme from 2011.
I just would like to say I recognize that this slide alone disqualifies me from holding any kind of public office, as well as like any number of other social benefits. I live with the penance, hopping off my high horse and hopping onto my high cross. Please crucify me. I deserve it.
Here's the thing. If you wrote this last year, I think it'd be a bigger problem. But because you were an actual child when you put these words out into the world, I think it reflects more on your environment than it does you.
Exactly, yeah, that's what I was... Yeah.
That I understand what you're saying, and like on some level that makes me feel better, but like you don't understand what it's like to live with these words living in your head rent free.
It's just look at the fun little Jackbox friends at the bottom. That'll make you feel better.
Okay, so next part, I just want to show like a few other characters basically have reactions to Adam detransitioning, and we're just gonna go through them one by one. Okay, so first, and they're all awful. No one has good takes on Adam. Okay, like I guess before we get into this, like someone in high school who's made the decision to detransition after the whole school already knew they were trans. That's gotta be like probably the most vulnerable experience in your teen life, right?
Yeah.
Like, I would imagine. Well, nobody cares about that. Doesn't even come up at all. What Adam might be going through. So let's start with Eli. He immediately wants to bone. He also sees Adam as a good opportunity to make Claire jealous because they both kind of look similar. So Eli can think about Claire while with Adam. And these are just two quotes that I think really highlight everything wrong.
I really like this Tina Belcher quote.
That is a really nice butt. Is that gay to think? I mean, is it my fault he has a girl's butt? I wonder if he's gonna get surgery. There are more important things at hand.
Bruh.
Next thing,
That was an appropriate response.
I need to leave the planet.
for the next quote, a little context. Adam just, said they're detransitioning. They order the girl's uniform. It's like a skirt, but like the same polo top that they all wear. And then this is what Eli thought. Except leave out the binding. Always leave out the binding. Which is like, what? Was that like... Was I thinking that was like sexy? Or was that like...
Do you know what energy this gives off? I'm very sorry. This gives off Discord mod speaking to their kitten.
Yeah, no. That checks. I really don't know. Like, did I know Eli was a creep? I don't think I did. I thought that everything Eli did, which I'm like, I think that means that this is what I thought boys were like. And like, I hope I'm wrong.
Oh, so you still don't know?
I still don't know.
Isn't that a strange reflection? We still don't know.
Like, definitely not all boys, right?
Hashtag not all boys.
Yeah.
Hashtag not all men.
No. But, okay. Let's move on to Drew. Adam's stepbrother. Family, that's who you really look to for support, right? Drew also wants to bone, but is in love with Adam. Does not care who knows for some reason. Like, at school, Drew was very... openly, bluntly disappointed that Adam didn't just kiss him on the lips in front of everybody at school. Like, he almost didn't understand why Adam wouldn't want to do that at school. Which is, like,
when your
wild.
stepbro won't kiss you in front of the whole school.
Like, that would, like, even for a school as messed up as Degrassi, even a school as wild as Euphoria, if you found out there was some open incest going on, that, like, you don't not talk about that. That would blow up the school.
I don't care that Rue relapsed. Did you hear that there's incest happening?
I mean, right, like, but okay. So then, this is just like, I don't know what I did to Drew. This is like pretty out of character, but fine. Since we make out, does that mean she's just using me for my body? Normally I'd be flattered, but in this case. Now that Gracie is a girl, like, she's the man of the relationship. This is way too much role reversal for me to take.
Let me face the wall and scream. Okay, so...
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I accept that.
There are no words. There are no words.
I know. Yeah, I knew. I
God
told you
give
guys.
me strength.
Before we get to the Bianca, who is definitely my favorite of all these character reactions, what do you guys? What do you guys think you would feel better had you read the story before we presented it to the world, or are you glad being as unprepared as you were.
Oh,
I don't know if I can. Yeah.
I mean, I mean, this is making for great content, but emotionally, spiritually, psychologically.
Yeah.
This is about all we can take. I don't know if we would be able to take the full story.
That's
Although,
more than...
if anyone wants us to read the full story, it's apparently
Subscribe
only 4
to our
chapters.
Patreon.
Yeah.
Okay, so
The
Bianca's
$25 tier.
I just want to give you guys a little context on this before I put it up. I don't want you to read the quote before it's up there. I wrote her like some villain or something. I don't know. Somehow, without Drew saying anything, Drew was just sort of not really into a kiss she offered him. And from that alone, Bianca, like she's freaking Columbo, figured out that Drew is hooking up with Adam, and also Adam is detransitioning. Okay, so this is what she has to say in response. Was I wrong? Could it be that you are pissed because you have had her, but now that she is sharing her secret with the school, so basically the whole world, you shall never truly have her again? At least not to yourself, and at most not at all. You find out your boyfriend is hooking up with his sibling. Is this where you're coming at it from?
I don't think I would monologue like a villain. I think I would just call the police.
There. Okay. Well, after
And I'm not
she
a cop
says,
caller, so that says a lot.
to be clear, this is just one of the things. She had a lot more to say. But to wrap it up, she says, I honestly hope for the best with you. I just won't date you until you figure out that you want her.
Weird.
Which
Loving Bianca's conniving era.
I will gladly be a side chick as long as we know where your
Exactly.
heart truly is. Like, which I'm like, on one hand, like, he does need a beard. I don't think Drew doesn't understand that, but Drew does definitely need a beard. And
Drew
so
needs a
Bianca's willing to do. Drew needs a therapist. Yeah. So there's that. And that actually does wrap up like the plots. I just want to talk about some different strange decisions that were left. But any on the 4 big plots we covered, any final questions, thoughts, concerns?
So this last plot line didn't really wrap up. It didn't really wrap up at all, did it?
Nope.
Cool.
No idea. Like, yeah.
Completed.
One thing that's
Good.
One thing.
Completed story.
I was gonna save this bombshell for the end. Actually, I don't even think I told Bob this. I actually wrote many sequels to this. But it was on a different account, so I was able to delete them all. My friend and I both lost the password to this account, so this is just stuck on fanfiction.net.
The internet is forever.
The internet is forever. In the sequels, I will say that whole detransitioning thing doesn't come up again. Adam just stays a boy.
Oh.
Well,
Doesn't he? So
that's good for Adam. I'm glad
Great.
he figured it out.
I guess if
I
that's
guess.
the takeaway. It was a very wild nonsense of a thing. But okay. Here's some other strange decisions in this story. That whole internal monologue thing you might have seen a bit through the excerpts we read, that stops after chapter 2. This whole story switched perspectives 20 times in a 4-chapter story.
Oh my goodness. It's like a
Roughly-
soap opera.
Roughly 30%. That, I was definitely trying to make it a soap opera. I thought it was a soap opera. I fantasized about Degrassi people finding this, finding me, and my story, and saying, you know what, this is so raw. We need you.
You're gonna be a
You're
big
a
star,
team.
kid.
You won the contest to write an episode. Congratulations.
Here it is
Yeah.
on the next episode of Degrassi.
But only 30. Oh, I will say about the whole switching perspectives 20 times. The shortest perspective was literally just 32 words long. And that was one of Adam's times getting to be narrator.
Oh.
Good for him.
30% of the story Adam gets as the title character. Also, only Eli's POV sometimes got this little line break thing.
I wonder what the decision was. You don't remember why you did that?
I know it was because I couldn't figure out how to do the horizontal line thing, but I don't know why I only did it for Eli and nobody else.
It's called characterization.
Yes, that's what we'll call it.
I do
This one-
see that you have an actual point of view there, not a POV.
Yeah, that is something
You
that I
did
did.
what every sealed donut author couldn't do.
Well, sometimes there were also pops.
Oh man, I guess
man.
out of 20.
Almost got it.
It was a mixed bag. It depended on how much I felt like typing, I guess.
Yeah.
Just got home from school. I've got a lot of homework to do. I don't have
Gotta
much
write
time
this
to write
chapter
today.
real
Yeah.
quick.
Mom, busy. I'll do my homework in a minute.
You know what's funny? I actually tried to show this to my dad, and he said he didn't get. He was like, "I'm having a hard time following it." No other criticism, but he was just like, "Oh, that's what the teens do, I guess." So like, that's fine.
It's like, love that you're doing this. Completely incoherent, though.
Yeah, he's like, "What's Like he had no idea what was the story, like at all, no clue.
I don't
I don't
blame
think
him.
we'd even. Yeah, no, not his fault at all. Also, I don't even think we'd picked the title yet. The title was the last thing we picked. There's that. Last strange decision. We left in editing notes to each other, so I'm going to read what the original text was, and then I'll read my friend's note to me to try and help salvage this story. For context, this is this comment here is going to lead into one of Bianca's long rants. You knew what? I asked, indignant. I fought the urge to call her a trollop. I heard it in English class and felt it would work here.
Question. Is
Yeah?
the sentence, I heard it in English class and felt it would work here, is that Bianca? Or is that you, the writer?
So that was supposed to be Drew, but
Okay,
it is
but-
also me. I had not heard the word in English class, but I had heard it and I felt it would work here. As the
Trollop makes me think of either like a horse galloping or a scallop.
What about a dollop?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a little dollop of like whipped cream on like
Yeah.
a piece of pie or something.
A little trollop of whipped cream.
Yeah.
one thing
This is the
that's
new
also,
common clam.
I would also like to add that Bianca hadn't started monologuing yet. She literally kissed him and said, I knew it. And then he says, you knew what? And apparently her saying, I knew it was enough for him to be like, what, trollop?
What, you stupid idiot.
Yeah, he's all of a sudden indignant for no reason.
And then this was my friend's very loving note to me. I don't know about calling your girlfriend that, even if she is about to break up with him. And the way she talks to him sounds like she's helping him out and wouldn't mind still being friends.
Which sounds like, by the way you wrapped her story up, that's exactly what you were going for.
Yeah, so this was just like, the note was like, I don't know why he'd want to call her a trollop. It seems like she's like cool with them breaking up. The other thing is, that's in the story. You could just read that off that in the middle. So if you're a reader and not me, you just hear the author potentially just being judgmental of their own story.
That's a style choice.
Like, I don't, like, imagine if you're just reading this story and like, oh my gosh, things are getting spicy. I don't know about, man, I was actually on board with him calling her a trollop, but now the author has challenged me to check my own biases.
I would love it if, like, you know, Stephen King kept editing notes in his story. That would be great.
Yeah.
Author's
Idea.
note. I only had 20 minutes today to write because my mom said I couldn't be on the computer for very long.
And then Pennywise came out of the sewer.
Yeah, and then, I don't know, I guess a ghost. And then he changes the light bulb.
And then,
Just listened to that breakdown pretty recently. It was pretty fantastic.
and a fan fiction wouldn't really be a fan fiction without... This author was stupid and didn't know how anything works. And again, if you go through the whole thing, there are plenty examples of this, but I picked the best one that I think really highlights how little I knew about anything. I didn't know how grammar works. I didn't know how school works. I didn't know how siblings worked.
You have
I
a
definitely
You have a sibling.
But I thought incest was on the table for some of them. And I didn't know, I definitely did not know how trans people worked. But what this is going to show is that, as an author, I didn't know how babies worked.
Oh boy.
So I'll just read this. I could see that. This is Claire talking to Casey. I could see that. Have you guys decided on a name yet? No. And now it's getting stressful because we only have 3 more days until we have to go to the doctor's office again and tell them one. Each time we agree, someone will add another name and we have to decide again. Too bad. See, this is why I shouldn't have texted you. You have an actually problem and I'm calling you up with this.
Okay, did you think that when you go to like your every couple month checkup when you're pregnant, when you're expecting a baby, the doctor grabs you by the shoulders and shakes you back and forth and goes, "Have you picked a name yet?"
Or
Okay.
is the baby still at the doctor and they will not release them until the parent gives them a name?
No. Okay, so here's
So none of our suggestions are right.
no. What's going on here is the baby was born, and I was correct. Technically, you do not have to have a name for the baby right then and there. I googled it. Apparently, you have up to a year to decide if you need it. Which
Got it. But first you have to unlock your device.
that was my phone. Okay. So I googled it
Oh, 'cause
once.
you
I don't
said
even know if
Google.
that's right. Yeah. Oh,
Got
yeah. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that's what happened. But I did look it up, and it's at least the immediate answer said you have like up to a year. And I didn't Google that till like, I don't know, whenever I started this PowerPoint.
And I'm sorry, when you initially said this, did you say you have up to a year to decide if you need one?
No.
Okay.
No, if you need a year
Oh, okay.
to pick a name, you got it. Like, I still don't know how anything works. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but that's just what happened when I Google search. I didn't even click a link to an article or anything, so that's nothing. But in this time, I assumed like, oh, well, you definitely don't. They can't pressure you to have a name. They probably give you some time to figure that out. So I figured like 2 weeks sounds good. So they've got a baby, and they're like, what do we call this thing? I don't know. So their time's running out. But now the problem that they have is that their choose. Okay, so they're like, okay, Dylan. That's what we'll name the baby. Then someone's like, what about Brandon? And they have to start from scratch. They have to compare Brandon to every other name that lost on the bracket to see if it... Because now, well, actually, Dennis might look good compared to Brandon, so we got to go back to square one instead of just comparing it with the last name.
I think this is why having sex ed classes in school is very important. Because maybe if there was an adequate class that was like, here's how babies happen, maybe we would have avoided this situation.
You know, I had really woke sex ed classes, but how would they have known that I would have had trouble with the naming the baby part?
That's very true. I feel like that's a more like home economics type of situation where you decide the name on the baby.
The other thing is, I don't like this dialogue trying to justify this. You have an actually problem. It's not an actual problem, Claire.
It's an actually problem.
It's not even. It's these two idiots who don't know how to name a baby something. And apparently, they're the parents. They're raising this baby. Jenna left the baby with KC that night so she could go to whoever's house for baby no name.
Baby no name. Oh,
I am ashamed. So I'm sorry for this, but still thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Oh, you're a little rectangle
Please.
person.
Yeah. Thank you for giving me my Jeb Bush due, Karina.
oh man.
Okay, well, yeah, so that was my trash fic. I don't know how to come back from this.
This might be the end of the channel.
Yes, thank you all for joining us. It's been a great couple of years, but unfortunately we do have to stop after this.
Yeah.
For years you've been saying, Karina, stop.
And now, Not Just Kind of Friends is over, Karina's Stop is over, and she barely got off the ground. Rogue's Nails, those are done too.
Our whole brand is gone.
Yeah, we're deleting the Discord.
But seriously though, the Discord is still there.
Yeah,
Please come
we'll always
join.
be there. I do a good way to like kind of redeem yourself is you do actual writing. That is very good.
I hope so. I'll keep you guys updated on how, like, when I have something to show for it. But it is better. It's definitely more tactful. Nobody has to name any babies. Nobody's trying to sleep with their sibling. I promise nobody sleeps with their siblings. And like, you guys, I just knew this was a long time coming, and I've taken some time to really sit back and just think about how, like, my words affect people. I've done a lot of, like, scrolling on Instagram to really find myself, and I know this isn't going to happen again.
10 out of 10 YouTuber apology.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Okay, you guys. Thank you for helping me roast myself. And thank you, people out there, for listening. And you can roast me in the comments as well. That'd be fine.
But remember, this was written by an actual child who has since grown up and has
We're
learned.
better now. She got better.
Yeah. Yeah. And, like, you know, like, the music video we did, that was pretty good. We had some good times here. So, like, remember those two. But also remember to comment, like, and subscribe because we all need friends. And we'll see you next time. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.